For many of these children, to be able to just come and stand in front of you is an achievement. For many of them, to remember the steps by themselves without being prompted is an achievement. So we need to really, bear that in mind when we see them and encourage them also, yeah? Good evening, everybody. May the name of Almighty God be glorified in everything that we do. I would like to start by welcoming Mr. Salah. He's the son of our chairman and father of hope, Mr. Juma Ismail Al-Boynin, who's been a constant support for us for the last 18 years. Unfortunately, due to his ill health, he's unable to join us today. Your Excellencies, Mohammad Nasrul Islam of Bangladesh, His Excellency Ridwan Hassan, who will be joining us in a little while, and Ambassador of Indonesia. We are also expecting today Sri Ish Singhal, the First Secretary from the Embassy of India, and Sri Syed Mustafa Rabbani, the Deputy Head of Mission of Pakistan, who are actually on their way but held up there to reach here. Directors and principals of 5 of the greatest Indian schools in Qatar, who are here. 2 of them are already here, the others are on their way. Founders, owners, and managers of some of the best centers and organizations for persons with disabilities who have accepted our invitation and joined us today. Leaders of various professional and socio-cultural organizations and training centers who have accepted our invitation and joined us today. Members of the media who are actually carrying our message of hope to the rest of the world. Parents, family, friends, and all distinguished invitees who have joined us over here today. It's been yet another eventful year at Hope Qatar, a year filled with positives as well as some negatives. It's been 18 years since we started, and when I look back at it, it's imagined almost like it happened yesterday. How fast time flies. 18 years is a long time to be able to do something like this in Qatar. When I remember the past and look back and see where it all started, it started with a personal need for my own son, Steven, who has Down syndrome, who's now 27, back in India. He's actually watching this program live stream at present. So hi, Steven. Right. So when we came to Qatar and realized that there was no place for him to go to learn and overcome some of the challenges, we were left with some choices. But more than that, what I want to say is, many of us parents who have children with disabilities are always remaining in some kind of a situation where we are stuck and we are still in denial. So when Steven was born, we were also in denial. We didn't know, why did this happen to us? I was not related to my wife. We did not have late marriages, but why did we have a problem like this? And then we started seeking answers. We started seeking answers and we started looking for theological explanations, scientific explanations, psychological explanations. And what we heard at the end of it all was, it's an accident of nature. It's an accident of nature. But when you look at an accident of nature, I am reminded about another interesting accident of nature. In the year 2737 BC, a Chinese emperor by the name of Shen Nung, some of you may know the story. He was going in the forest together with his battalion of army men and all his caretakers and all his cook and everybody else. And they were taking rest under a tree. And while they were resting under the tree, the cook was boiling some water for the king, for the emperor, and some leaves fell from the tree into the water, and it got boiled with it. Again, an accident of nature. 2 pieces of leaf falling into the water, in the boiling water. But the emperor, being a very interesting guy, he said, let's taste it and see what it looks like. And that was the beginning of how tea was made. An accident of nature leading to tea, which I am sure many of you consume on a daily basis. So it was a very similar accident of nature that led to the foundation of Hope Qatar. And over the years, we've been able to serve hundreds of students who have benefited from here. Sometimes accidents of nature happens in our lives with a purpose. It's just a matter of us realizing what that purpose is and how we grab it and move on. But we couldn't have achieved what we have achieved so far if it was not for the amazing team of Hope Qatar. My teachers, my therapists, my support staff. Without their dedication and commitment, it's very difficult to get children to come on stage and do things like what they are doing and achieve some of the academic successes that they have already achieved, about which we'll be speaking a little later as well. One of my boys is very excited in the back, so he's making a little bit of noise there. So when we look at the achievements of Hope, especially when you look at the year 23-24, the academic year, there are a few things that I wanted to tell you about. So last year was a pretty interesting year. They're going to put something on the slide. And we have some key statistics which I would like to share with you. So by the grace of God, we were able to transition 14 students into mainstream. 14 of our students moved into mainstream last year. 118 students with 19 nationalities, but it's gone down a little bit this year. And in my team, we have 16 master's degree holders. 16 members of my team are master's degree holders in their areas. We have a boasting of a satisfaction rate, customer satisfaction rate of 65%, 4.5 star rating on Google reviews, 3 international accreditations, 12 corporate partnerships. 2 of our students completed the national open schooling and moved on into future life. Actually, after this, we have 2 of our students who even completed SAT exams. So 2 of them have completed SAT exams, but they are improving their score because they want to get into college with a higher scores. 12 collaborations, 238 total volunteers participation, 9 volunteer group participations, 4 embassy collaborations over the last 1 year, 14 partnerships with schools and colleges, 24 internship engagements. A lot of things have happened. A lot of things have happened in the last year. But it all comes from above, some blessings from above us, I would say. But what we also realized is that 18 years is a long time to be doing things in a similar manner. So we have new strategy that has come out. We call it Hope 2.0. So we have come up with a new strategy which will be about what I call turning the pyramid upside down. So rather than guide the team, we are going to ask the team to come up with their solutions. They will be the ones identifying what more can we do for the students, what can we do for the community, and then the job that we leaders would have then is to empower them to go ahead and do what they are doing. We have entered into various collaborations with many centers, with organizations, with universities in Qatar as well as outside of Qatar, and also with research institutions. So Hope Qatar is actively participating with Hamad Medical Corporation and with the QBRI and other organizations to conduct various research activities that will benefit people with disabilities in Qatar. It's about synergistic and collective activities which is going to do more for people with disabilities, because there's so much that I can do, there's so much that another center can do. But if we work together and if we put our hands together, there's nothing that can stop us from doing much more than what we are doing. Hope Qatar is also the regional representative of Down Syndrome International, which is based in UK. And for the year 2025, the World Down Syndrome Day, they have a theme called Improve Our Support Systems. This is the theme for the next World Down Syndrome Day. We all know that persons with disabilities need support, families need support, and support actually is a very key human right. It's a basic human right of anybody, especially persons with disabilities. And a support system, when you talk about support system, it could include governance, the laws of the country, the policies of the country, social protection, human support, information and data to understand the barriers faced by people with disabilities. This is a big area of importance. Assistive technology, accessible housing, and access to both buildings as well as transportation. So these are some of the support systems that should be put in place and should be in place if people with disabilities have to be able to achieve the best of their abilities. But what happens is, there's a lot being talked about these things. You'll find a lot of seminars being conducted, there's a lot of workshops being conducted, and there's a lot of talk around these things. But when it comes to implementation, sometimes things fall behind. But it's not always backed by action. But what I would request all of us gathered over here, the lawmakers, the ambassadors, the directors of the different schools, the principals, the parents, the other centers over here who have students with disabilities that they're taking care of. It's time for us to join together and bring up that kind of synergy and collaboration, and that is what is going to bring about the change. So it's not just one organization that's going to be able to do it, but collectively we will all be able to make this world a better place for persons with disabilities. Especially this message would go out to the parents of children who have very young children with disabilities. Your sons and daughters are growing, so we need to prepare this world to be able to receive them in the future. And I think we have a collective responsibility to do that. Today's theme, as you all see, is Beats Across Borders. And Beats Across Borders signifies a diversity at hope, because we, as we said, the number of nationalities that we have in terms of students and teachers, the uniqueness of each participant who comes on stage today, both the students as well as teachers, and most importantly, the unity in purpose, because we are all united by one purpose here, to bring out the best in every child that is being given to us. So let's sit back, relax and enjoy, and put your hands together, as I mentioned earlier, to keep the children engaged and entertained and also feel your love and affection as they take us on a journey of Beats Across Borders. I wish all of you a Happy New Year in advance, and may God bless us all. Thank you so much.